Again, so glad that you could join us today. Now, I am Stephanie, and I am excited to be alongside Kyle, our VP of Product, as well as a few other members of the Travefy team who you'll likely see pop in that chat, in that Q&A throughout the webinar. So we pulled in a team of us in here today because we really want to be just in there, ready to go in this party with you all. Now, a quick note before we dive in, this session is being recorded. So the full replay will be available later today on our YouTube channel. So if you do need to step away, don't worry, we got you. Go to our YouTube channel later today and you can rewatch it. And I guarantee there's probably something you're going to want to come back and watch again. So you can do that. So don't worry there. Now, the other thing that I want to mention is also with questions that you might have during the webinar or comments, because I bet there's going to be so much great excitement and all kinds of fun stuff. So we do have, like I mentioned, our team members in the background helping to answer those. So please do drop those questions. And if you can, if it is like a question, maybe about your account, about Travefy features or tools, try to use that Q&A panel just so they don't get lost in the chat. Because like I said, this webinar is so jam-packed. So we might not have a lot of time to cover them live, unfortunately, at the end. But of course, if your question doesn't get answered, we also have our support team ready to go. So just send us an email at professional@travefy.com. But hopefully we'll still get to like one or two at the end. So we'll see what we can do. We'll try to get to some. But let's get started. Now, here's what I mean by jam-packed. Let's look at our schedule for today. We got quite the lineup. So first, here's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to help kick things off with showing you Travefy's new CRM. Now, if you are new to Travefy, this might be all new stuff and you'll be like, what? I didn't even know you had that. But for a lot of our users, this is something that's been so exciting. This has been biggest releases this year. And I just want to give you a quick recap of these tools that we've launched just over the last couple months, just to show you how they're already simplifying client management, invoices, commissions, and more, all in one place. And then after that, we are going to dive into the latest feature updates. Now, I got to tell you, we will be moving fast. And this is all about demos because you're going to see example after example. There's like 8 or more of the biggest updates that we've released recently because we want you to get a real feel for how they work and how they'll fit into your business. And then finally, we're going to wrap up and we're going to look at how Travefy is connecting your agency, including some exciting updates on our CRM API. So today is really showing you what's live, what's brand new, and how quickly this platform is evolving to support you. So buckle up. Get your seatbelt on because we've got a lot to show you. But first, before we share all of the really cool tools and enhancements, we do want to shine a light on some of those who've helped us build these amazing tools, and that's our Trailblazer community. They are real Travefy users helping us every single day. So Kyle, I'm going to pass this one over to you since you and the team are working so closely with our Trailblazers every day.
Yeah, and so many of you are familiar with our Trailblazer program. Our Trailblazers are the first ones to try the new functionality, giving us feedback and working through that unknown. So today is about Trailblazers as much as anyone, as they've really helped shape many of the things we're going to demo today. And today is a little extra exciting. So for the first time in a long time, we are taking applications to join our Trailblazers group. So Trailblazers isn't just a fun program. It's how we make sure we're building the right things. The advisors in that group really are shaping Travefy in real time. They give us feedback, push us, and really it's making the product better for everybody. So if you're not in the group yet, please sign up. You'll get bragging rights, some sneak peeks, and the chance to help shape what we do next. So Stephanie is dropping a link to the sign up form in the chat right now. Do not stress about finding it. I know things can get lost in that Zoom chat or filling it out right now. We will share it again at the end of the webinar, and we absolutely don't want you to miss any of the demos we have for you today. Because today is simply about that, showing you everything we've recently released and some early looks at things we're working on. We know things are coming really quickly and it's hard to keep up. We think, I'm a little biased here, but I think our engineering team is the best in the business. We are releasing updates daily. And with your schedules, we know there's no way to keep up with all of that change. Some of the things you do notice, though, and spoiler alert, we had a fairly active Facebook post over the weekend related to one of the things we're going to show you later. All right, so let's dive in. Since June, we've been going all in on CRM. In July, we launched capabilities that most CRMs take years to layer in. Think about where you would be by year end if you start using these today. Travefy CRM isn't just a contact list anymore. It's becoming that single hub for your client relationships, your communication, your invoices, and even your commissions. It really is a full CRM, and we're not done yet. So Stephanie, will you walk us through some of the highlights, including just a wealth of updates from just the past 6 weeks since that initial release?
Yes, I will be happy to. Now, this is going to be a lot, everybody, because it's really been incredible just to see how quickly advisors have started adopting these new CRM tools. And just in the past 8 weeks, like Kyle mentioned, we've already seen so much momentum. And I want to walk you through each area. So that includes contacts, email, invoices, and commissions, just so you can really see what's possible. So I'm going to give you just a quick high level overview, but don't forget, I'm going to be doing some demos in here right after this as well. So the first thing I want to highlight here was contacts. Now with contacts, everything about your clients, it lives in one profile. Like you see here, you've got your details, loyalty numbers, passports, your preferences, tasks, and more. And advisors just tell us this saves them from chasing those sticky notes and those spreadsheets, giving them one clear hub for client information. Now, we already had this tool available, but we've added so much more into here. And you'll see that. I don't want to give away too much because I'll show you in some of the demos here coming up shortly what we've added to expand this. But then that brings me into the next one, email. Email integration has been a complete game changer. And I know we say that word a lot, but this truly has. And you can connect your email like Gmail or Outlook and send right from Travefy with all of that communication just tied directly to your clients and your trips. And it really just means less, context switching and a much smoother workflow. And I'm going to show you as well how to get this set up in your account today because one of my personal favorite things is right there. But that's not it. We've also released invoices. Invoices is helping advisors save hours. You can create professional branded invoices, send reminders automatically, and even keep supplier invoices stored right alongside those client trips. So no more digging through email chains or clunky spreadsheets. So like what you're seeing right now in front of you is what your clients will see. It's your brand front and center, and that one link that your clients can keep coming back to authorize payments and access their invoice anytime. So as you can see right here, very beautiful, very nice and simple. And the final one, commissions. Commissions. This one advisors have been asking for a long time. And now you can track what's pending, received, or overdue, all tied back to the traveler. It's real visibility into your revenue and ensures that nothing, and I mean nothing, is slipping through the cracks. So as you see here, it's a really great sales and commission overview directly in your account that you can use. And don't just take this from me, because here's what advisors themselves are saying. Oop, and I'm not sharing that. Here we go. Let me pass over to this. Here's all the testimonials that are really amazing. These are just some of them, just again, over the last 8 weeks. And as you can see, so much great stuff, but just to share one or two. One is invoices is already making my life so much easier. Minutes after sending a reminder, my client paid. Nice, that's great. Or this one, being able to track commissions in one place is absolutely amazing. It's a game changer. And you can just see how all of this is so exciting. And comments like this are exactly why we're really pumped to see where CRM is headed. So now that brings me into this. Now it's time for some demos. It doesn't stop there from what I'm just showing you. Now I'm really excited to do a couple demos for you today and dive into 5 new features and tools that we've rolled out just over the past 8 weeks to make what you're seeing even greater. So let me jump into this. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to change my screen out here. So I'm going to go in here. Now, the first one I want to talk about is IMAP integration and other emails. So you heard me already talking about with this email integration, which is huge. It's so exciting. But something that we release after getting, the email integration is IMAP integration, which if you're like, what is that? It's basically a fancy way of saying that pretty much every email account is supported now. So we already supported, the emails that you can connect like Gmail, Microsoft, Yahoo, iCloud, but now we have IMAP. So that way, if you don't use one of those previous providers, now you can connect it with IMAP. So let me show you how this works and just how to set up your email today. So first, I'm going to jump into my account now. Now, again, this is where I'm going to start going into demos. And if this feels like it's a little quick, know that we do have FAQs on how all of this works and some videos, things like that. So what I want to do is I just want to show you where you would find those emails at. And again, those are going to live in the contact client profile. So like if I went into Alex Smith right now, I can go over and I can look at email. Now, as you can see, I have not set up an email account yet. So if you haven't done this yet or you're new to Travefy, this is what you will see. So you can go ahead and get your email account set up very quickly. And I mean so fast, it's literally just clicks. But if you did, you can set it up right in here, like the screen I'm showing you now. Or you can also go into your account settings and you could go in there too. So if you go into your account settings, just go in your linked accounts and email. Same thing. So you can do it both ways. But now, one thing that I do want to highlight since we are talking about IMAP is if you don't use one of these providers, you can always click the sign in with IMAP and you're going to see something like this, where it will be now where you want to go out and you want to find the IMAP port, the server, all of this stuff. And don't let this scare you, because at first when you see this, like I didn't really know what this was before. It's like, I don't know what that is. But it's actually really easy. If you go into your email provider, you're actually able, they usually will have some technical article or FAQ, kind of like you're seeing right here. Well, they'll be able to give you that port number and like the server name, all of that. So it'll look just like this. So then you can come in and just go ahead and plug in this information. Now, if you do need help with that, of course, our team's happy to help get you set up in there, but also we do have an FAQ on how to get that set up as well. But now I just am actually going to set up, because I have a Gmail account that I'm going to set up here. So I'm just going to go ahead and sign in with Gmail. So again, if you use one of these, you can just sign in and look at how easy this is. I am going to go ahead and select my account. I'm going to continue, and then I'm going to go ahead and let Travefy set this up. So I now have set this up through Travefy, but look, I'm done. Do you see how that just took like 2 clicks? It's crazy, amazing, quick how that works. And it gets better because now that I've connected my email, now what's happening automatically for you is all of those past email threads are going to come in automatically for any client profiles you have in here. So take, for example, let's go back to that Alex Smith here. Now, if I go over to the email, look, there's an email that just came in because this is pulling, it's connecting to my email inbox. So now I can go and reference any past email threads before I set this up in Travefy in here. I know I just had to go to the chats. I can see people like, this is awesome. It's so easy too. That's what's so cool about it. And you have all this in here. And then of course you can reply back to a thread in here if you wanted. But also you can start a new email. So let's say we want to compose a new email. So let's go ahead and click compose. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let's just send an email to this person. I'm going to follow up with them on some resort because they started inquiring about a family vacation. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to copy and paste this email that I wrote up, because I figured you don't want to spend, a couple minutes watching me type this. So I did the legwork before. So I'm just going to copy and paste it in. Now, one thing that's really nice also is you're going to find some formatting options down here. So you can still add things like you can add a link in here. If we wanted to like bold this, we wanted to, add bulleted lists just to kind of clean it up. We can do that in here as well. So you're going to see, you can do all of that in here. And then it looks nice, easy, simple as that. Now I'm going to send it. You can also save things as a draft as well, which is nice. And then there you go. Look at my email sent. Done. And what's great too is that in your email inbox, if you were to go into like my Gmail account, I still see this. It still is connecting back and forth. So really, really awesome, easy stuff in there. And so that's just one way email is getting smarter inside Travefy. But I want to talk about another one, system emails. Now, once you have your email connected, you can then select the email that Travefy sends from. So bear with me here. This is where it's going to get really cool because this means that your itineraries, your forms, your decisions, anything like that that you send from Travefy is going to be from your email address. So not only will this give you more branding control, but it's also going to help with email deliverability, which I know for many people that is a big one. So let me show you where you find this and how that works. So what you're going to do is if I go back into my accounts, let me go back where I set up my where I originally set up my email. So let me go back in here. I'm just going to go to my linked accounts, go under email. Now, all I have to do is click this drop down, choose the actual email, and that's it. You never have to do this again. It does it once and it saves it. And so now the traveler is going to see my name, my branding, my email address. And that consistency truly does matter for both your professionalism and, again, that deliverability. So it's just a really cool thing, a really powerful, simple feature to turn on right there. But now, if you love consistency, you're really going to love some automation. I bet some of you are going in this direction already. What about email automation? Well, email automations is going to let you nurture your clients automatically. So think of your reminders, your follow-ups, every post-trip touch point, all of that while you can just focus on selling. So let me walk through a couple different examples of how this can work because I know this is a big one for many of you. So I'm going to walk through a couple examples. The first one I want to talk about is, let's say that you want to send maybe a personal message, like email message that comes from your email before, during, or after a trip. Well, how you can do this is by using our workflows that we call task lists. Now, a task list you will find you can create in your library. So if you go to your library, and again, if you're new to Travefy, this is basically where all of your content that you save lives. So any like forms you had, content for itineraries, proposals, all of that, but also your task lists. Now, when you want to build a new task list, you're just going to click new library item, and then you're going to choose task list. So you can start brand new, fresh right there. But now I'm actually going to jump into one that I already started building just to give you a little bit, get your minds going on like what you could do with this, because we created this task list for cruises. So this is specifically if I'm booking a cruise for a client, I use this list. And in this list, you can add all kinds of things, like all kinds of automations, including tasks for yourself. So you can see like maybe you have, 185 days before the trip. I need to make sure that I follow up that I want to make sure that flights are booked, all of this is good to go, all of that. And then maybe there's also like 150 days before the trip, I have an itinerary invite with a message that goes out that says, hey, take a look, here's your itinerary, or, all that. There's so much you can do with it. But now what you can do is you can automate an email that sends directly from your email account. So how you set this up is we're just going to go ahead and we're going to say add automation. Now I am going to go ahead and select, this is going to be the new thing. You're going to be able to select email message. Again, previously before this would be like to an itinerary invite, an invoice, a chat message in the app, but now we have the option for email message. So I'm going to select that. And now what I can do is I can go ahead and put in the subject line, which what I'm doing here is I want to do this for, like a reminder, hey, you're 120 days before your cruise. Let's make sure that you get all your spots for your dining reservations, spa, anything like that. So it's just acts as a reminder again, like, it's time to start doing things in the trip. So now let me go ahead and add this. And you can see here that I have like, hello, you're just 120 days away, all of that good stuff. And you can see I even have like bon voyage, only 120 days to go. And so how we know this, you're probably like, well, how does it know it's 120 days? It will know because we can go ahead and say, I want this to send automatically on my behalf 120 days before that itinerary start date. So now, and I can also give the time. So let's do that too. Let's say we want to send this at 11 a.m. and it will be in my time zone as well. So that's the nice thing. It knows that. So it won't send off at like midnight, anything like that. And that's it. And then I can just click done. And now I have that built into my task list. So now when I want to use this, I could add this into a trip by going into the trip here. I'm just going to jump into this one right here. And then you can go into your tasks and automations, click add, and then import that whole task list. And then once you import it, you can edit things. So you could also create one-off emails in here as well to automate. But you can see this already has a lot of automations built in here going on right now. And you can see that the dates automatically line up compared to that itinerary start date. So that's how easy that is. But now the second way that I want to show you how this can work is, let's say you want to send a birthday email message. This is a popular one. And now you can do that. So you can do that really easily just by going into that client contact profile. Like we keep going in here. Let's go back into Alex's profile here. And let's say that we want to send them a birthday message. So we're going to go in under tasks. So under tasks, we are just going to go ahead and add a new one. Now, again, you could import like an entire task list or just a single task, but we want automation because we want this to just automate. So we are going to choose automation. And then I am going to now select the email message. And then let's just go ahead and drop in this subject line. And then let me drop in the email here. Let me just copy and paste this. And there we go. And then I can go ahead and put it on their date. So let's say like their birthday, I'm gonna put on my birthday. So maybe I'm gonna get an email on my birthday a year next June, and I'm gonna be like, what was that from? It's from this webinar. So I'm just gonna click done, and there you see it. So there it is. That is how you do that now. Now, one thing I do have to say, I just got to tell you, there's so much more exciting things coming too with this. So this is just the beginning, and it's really cool stuff. But this is powerful on its own. So email automation, very excited to show that. So that is cool. But I'm not done yet. I still have two more, and then I'm going to pass it back to Kyle. So bear with me here. I have two more for you. The next one that I want to highlight that we've released over the past 8 weeks is smart fields in forms. So smart fields, they're exactly what they sound like. They're very, very smart fields. That's what they are, really. I love it. It's a simple name. But aka what they are fields on your forms that automatically update your CRM in your client's contact profile. So it means no double entry, no missing info. So basically, we did previously support smart fields, but now we've expanded those fields and added a few more default ones. So if you're like, wait, what? Let me show you. Let me show you this. So I'm going to go back into my contact. Now, let's say Alex Smith right here. Let's say I do not currently have this person's passport information. So look it down here how I don't have it. I could manually add it. So I could call them up and I can say, hey, like, can you just share it to me over the phone? Something like that. Just I can manually add it. But a really easy way is I can actually send a form to Alex, have them fill it out, and then the information they fill out will automatically populate into this area. Easy, right? So how you're going to do that is if we come up to the top of this form or this profile, I'm going to click send form. And if you already have the form built out, you'll be able to just send it right here. But I wanted to build one with you today. So I'm just going to type in like passport intake form, and then we're just going to add a new one. So we're just going to click add new. And now here we are in this form builder where I can now create a new form. Now, if you're not familiar, you do have some templates you can choose from, but I'm just going to add two together just to show you how this works. So I'm going to add my first question, and basically that question is just going to ask, what is your name? So I just need to have that. So I'm going to say, what is your name? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose that smart field. So when you're in here, you can say smart field. And then once you choose smart field, look at all the options that you have for smart fields. So again, what this means is when I'm asking for the contact name, automatically we're going to ask for the first name and the last name. Now you can choose, do we also want middle? Yeah, let's take middle. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, I want to include that field. So then I'm good. So I'll just say, okay, done. Now let's do that one more time. And I'm going to add a new question. And I am going to do another smart field here. And I am going to select passport. Now, these are one of the new ones. So we're going to have passport. And then as you can see, look at all of the stuff that automatically we know that you're going to need. So I'm just going to say, what is your passport information? And done. And there we go. And then now I'll be able to send this off. And then basically what they'll be able to do is they'll be able to, input all the information. And then once they fill that form out, what's going to happen is it's going to automatically populate in here. So I'll show you an example here. If I jump into this contact profile, notice here how all of this information already comes in. I can go ahead and I can see their passport number if I need. And something else to note is this is all secure. So I can even get a photo of their passport too that they would have uploaded. So you can view all of that in here. Amazing, right? It's so cool. Very, very simple. And once you've collected the data, we also make it easy for you to clean it up and organize it. And so that's also my final one that I want to mention that kind of very related to this is another exciting release for many of you current and longtime users is the custom default fields. A lot of you had built custom fields in Travefy. So we allow you to do that. So you can still collect anything that you need. So now you can copy those values into default fields. So think about like birthdays, anniversaries. So really everything is standardized. So this is especially helpful if you're moving over from like another CRM. It'll help you put things into the right place in those contact fields. Now, you already saw a little highlight of this already when I just created that passport form, but essentially now we have those default fields already created to help cut back on time, creating new forms and continuing to collect client info with ease. So if you look here, this is an example of what we were seeing. So see these right here. Now, what's great is in your forms before we release this, it's updated to reflect this, but you also can update any existing forms you have. So if you want to start adding the passport or some other questions in there, just add those to the forms that you have, and they'll sync up very beautifully. So that's just, a look at how these tools and content enhancements and feature updates are already helping advisors every single day. But when you take a step back, it's amazing to see just how much we've delivered in the past 8 weeks alone. And this is only the beginning, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to say, Kyle, I want to hand it back to you so you can give us a look at what's next and share even more exciting updates that we have in the works. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to let you take it away.
Awesome. Yeah,
It's a lot.
you covered so much stuff
I
already,
know.
Stephanie. And I am just going to keep it going. Um, so, uh, Now, we know that CRM has been a huge focus, but I do want to be clear, like we haven't forgotten our core. Itineraries, forms, credit card authorization, and really helping you showcase your value to clients across every interaction is still that heartbeat for Travefy. It's what a lot of you first fell in love with here. And so today I want to show you how we're taking itineraries further to make your life just a little bit easier. These updates really are about making you look even more professional while saving you time. So for those of you who have been patiently waiting to get through the CRM stuff, I hope you're rewarded with at least one of these next demos improving your daily workflow. We're going to kick off with one that we first talked about way back in training camp. We see a lot of you creating multiple versions of an itinerary because you want that control and you want the confidence that each traveler is getting the correct personalized view for them. And this generally works pretty well until something changes. While you have that control you want, you find yourself manually updating multiple, sometimes upwards of 10 itineraries just to keep them in sync. So we're aiming to help improve this with a release that's coming in October. Let's check out that new workflow that's coming soon. And before I begin, I really want you all to know that we understand how critical your itinerary builder workflow is. So this isn't released yet. Again, we're targeting October. And when we release, you're going to see a toggle up here at the top of your itinerary builder where you can go to classic editing mode. And that classic editing mode is exactly what you're using today. So if you want to keep using exactly what you are using today, you can always go back to that for now. We don't want to change that workflow until you are ready and if this adds value to you. So by turning this off, I land in a new experience. And I want to start with a fairly common scenario. And let's buckle up. The same way Stephanie covered a lot, there is a lot I'm going to be showing you here. And some of it is pretty nuanced and hard to follow along. So if you find yourself struggling to keep up, that is not you. That is me and just how much we are covering. We are recording this. There will be more information and education coming out over the coming 4 to 6 weeks as we lead up to this release. So that fairly common scenario, you have multiple people traveling. For the most part, they're all doing the same things. That might be a large group trip with over 100 travelers, but it also describes a pretty typical family trip. So for the trip I'm planning, there's 2 couples going on a cruise together, the Johnsons and the Smiths. And here you can see, I'm going to jump over. This is the itinerary for Sally Johnson. It's basically the same itinerary for everyone. So here I'm going to come back to the builder and show you some of those improvements and how they can help you with the trip. One of the first things you'll notice is I now have this drop down here where I have a couple options, main itinerary, and then I see everybody's names. That main itinerary is exactly that. It's your base itinerary that's going to be exactly the same or extremely similar for all travelers. So now I'm going to go here to Connie Smith's view of the itinerary. You can see all of these events carried over from the main itinerary. There's a slightly different background here so that you know those aren't Connie's events. Those are from that main itinerary. Now, Connie here has a prior commitment and she can't fly in until the morning that the cruise departs. That is not something I recommend to my clients, but after understanding the risks, this is what works for Connie. And so that's what we're going to do. So here I am in Connie's view of my itinerary, and I'm going to go add her flight to this itinerary. All right, and so now you'll notice a couple things. Here in Connie's view of the itinerary, I now have that flight show up. And if I go back to my drop down, you can see Connie Smith's itinerary now says customized. So this really helps me stay organized around who may have deviations from that main itinerary. So now I'm going to jump over to the version of the itinerary that Connie sees. I'm going to refresh, and you can see now I have those flights on Connie's itinerary. Now let's go back to Sally's itinerary, who we viewed initially. And you can see Sally doesn't have those events. She still has that main itinerary. She's not seeing Connie's flight on here. All right, and now I'm going to jump back to the builder and make sure I'm on Connie's itinerary. And because Connie is flying in that morning, oops, and I added that on the 9th. Because she's flying in that morning, there's just a couple things that don't make sense on her itinerary. And one of those is that hotel stay. She doesn't need that hotel stay. So here I am. If I hover over, we have added the ability to hide events from the itinerary. So here I can hide that checkout event from the hotel on Connie's itinerary. And now if I come back and refresh Connie's itinerary, you can see the day she sets sail, she does not have a checkout of the hotel event because I've hidden that for her. Every other traveler who still checks out will see that, but Connie doesn't need to see that event because it's not personalized for her. All right, and now we're going to come back to the builder. We started with that challenge of really maintaining control, but right now it comes at the cost of your time. If an event changes, you must manually update every copy of that itinerary that you're keeping. So let's go back to that example. And let's say this arrival at Catalina Island has changed. Instead of 8 a.m., let's say the cruise has updated and it's going to arrive at 10 a.m. So I'm going to update this. And All right. So um, now we have an updated event for that Catalina Island. And there's one more great use case for hiding the event. So I'm actually working on trip insurance quote for everybody. Travefy is an excellent way for me to offer insurance with every trip right from the context where it's most likely to be seen and purchased by my clients. So I have most of those details here, but I'm not quite done with it. And I'm not ready to share that out with everybody. So similar to before, I'm going to hide that event from the itinerary view and treat it as a draft until I am ready to show it. So I can jump over here to Sally's itinerary. And we're going to see that Sally sees that updated event here with the 10 a.m. arrival, and she does not see that trip insurance. We're going to come view Connie's itinerary as well, and we can see the same thing. Connie got that same update with me changing it in one location, and Connie also doesn't see that trip insurance until I'm ready to show that to everybody. All right, so that is kind of an overview of these new itinerary views where we really strive to give you a lot of control and efficiency and ultimately that confidence to know exactly what each traveler is seeing on their itinerary that you've prepared. But now that we've walked through managing the itineraries, I do want to walk through how sharing those things have changed to give you more control as well. Our goal is to give you as much control and confidence in what you're sharing. So from the builder here, I'm going to come into preview. We've moved this preview to match many of the other previews you'll see in Travefy, giving you a really quick look at your itinerary and how it will look on web and mobile. And you'll see you have that same style of switcher that we just saw in the builder. So it's easy to look at how each traveler's personal itinerary is going to look. So I'm going to take Connie and her itinerary, and you can see I'm viewing as Connie Smith, and I'll come share. And you can see now this says get linked to itinerary view for Connie Smith. And I can actually copy that web link. And so that's going to be a view specific to Connie. So I can come in here and paste, and this is Connie's itinerary. So I want to go back to this preview again. And if I share, I can email an itinerary invite. And this is very similar to how it's always worked before, but you have a new option when sharing an email itinerary invite. And that's this option to require travelers login. So I can now choose when I send this email, if I want the link in that email to require Connie to log in, or if I simply want her to be able to click it and view that originally. And I can add as many email addresses here as I need. And if I have it requiring login, each one is going to be required to log in their own account. If I choose not to require login, each one of those email addresses I put here will receive their own personalized link. And that means I can share this to Connie up front with just the main itinerary. But if I go in and add events or update events specifically for her later, they're only going to show up on her link, not for anybody else. So, and when I choose to share a link that doesn't require login, each email address gets that unique link. And that link is as secure as we can make it. So I have a third version of this itinerary. So this is Jason's link to the itinerary. And as you can see, it is that main itinerary. It's exactly what we've shared with Jason, but it's secure. So if I exit my preview, let's say for one reason or another, Jason is no longer coming on the trip. If I come to people and remove Jason from that itinerary, then in real time, his itinerary link stops working for Jason. Everybody else's itinerary links continue working, but this gives you a way to revoke access in real time to any travelers on your trip. And I have one more link type I want to show you. So I'm going to come back to preview. And that's this full detailed itinerary link. Uh, this will show you all events for all travelers. Internally, we sometimes call this the bride and groom link because for destination weddings, brides and grooms often like to know when people are arriving or leaving or have those extra activities. This also comes in handy if you have a family trip. So maybe the parents are paying for everyone and coordinating arrivals, giving them a view that shows everybody's arrivals and departures can be very helpful. So again, all of these changes are being tested right now. We understand how important that builder is to your workflow, so we're taking some extra caution here. We are aiming to release this to you sometime in October. If you're dying to get your hands on this before then, apply to be a Trailblazer. Our Trailblazers already have access to some of these changes today and have been providing us feedback. Now, one of the most common areas of feedback we receive is around our hotel content and the import process. And that feedback is split. While many of you are using those hotel descriptions we import into the notes section, some of you are heavily editing those to be more personalized for your client. And many of you find those descriptions so generic that they are unhelpful and you're actually taking the time to remove them altogether. So given that split in feedback, we've decided to just give you the choice. Some of you have noticed something's happening over the past week with hotel imports, and this option is now here. So here I am back in my itinerary builder, and you can see I've already imported this hotel, this Hilton in Austin. And this is that description that I'm talking about here, the location and facilities. And sometimes this can be a little generic to the point where it's not something that you would want to share with a client. So now I'm going to go back in and import lodging. And I'll find that same hotel. And you'll see this new checkbox down here, include event description. If I uncheck this checkbox, it's going to skip that description on import. And that setting is going to save in your browser. So if you never use these descriptions, you can uncheck this once, and that setting will stay updated for future hotel imports that you do. And you can see I have one example of this import with the description and one without. And this is actually available right now. So please wait until after the webinar, but go try this out. But that's not the only feedback we receive around hotels. For many hotels, the photos are low quality or just simply outdated. They don't help you accurately convey the experience you want. They haven't helped you showcase your value, and in many cases, they don't save you time. You're spending your own hours finding better hotel photos. And we really hear you on this one. We've been listening. It's just that it's been really hard to track down reliable and updated photos. And we haven't been able to do that at scale, so we've changed our approach. We may not be able to cover every chain and every hotel, but we knew we wanted to figure out something small to help out. And for some hotels, we finally have new photos. So these images in this current photos are what you'll get from Travefy for the JW Marriott in Rio. And these are the new updated photos you'll soon see. The photos are higher quality, both the images themselves as well as the photography. And the photos should match the quality you deliver across the rest of your itinerary. So now they do. And maybe most importantly, these photos are updated and will continue to be updated. We're tying in directly to the content from these hotel chains themselves. So every time a hotel updates their own content, you'll see those same updates in Travefy within the week. And when I said you'll soon see these updated photos, I mean it. These will be available later today. So this evening, go into Travefy and import a hotel. You'll have that option to skip the description, and for some hotels, you'll see these new photos. And so, like I said, while we haven't been able to update every hotel, we really hope there's something in here for everyone. Almost every Hilton property should have these updates. That includes their chains like Hampton, Embassy Suites, Signia, as well as their namesake Hilton. And it's the same for Marriott. You'll see updated photos for Marriott brands like Courtyard, Gaylord, Sheraton, Ritz-Carlton, and more. We really put a focus on the brands and tiers we hear from many of you. So that starts with Hilton and Marriott brands like Waldorf and St. Regis and extends to Wyndham, Four Seasons, and more. These are just a few examples of the new content you'll find, so go explore. But before we move on, I want to return to these new photos. Some of you probably noticed, but there are 6 photos here in this example, which isn't particularly helpful since Travefy only supports 5 photos on an event. Also, starting later today, if you import a hotel for which we have more than 5 photos, you'll be able to import up to 10 photos for your lodging event. So I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to come into lodging and I'm going to add a Marriott in Miami. And now I'm going to come preview. And you can see here, I now have +6 photos here. And if I come in and view these photos, they're much higher quality, spanning some really great shots of the hotel and updated. And that includes room photos as well. And I said earlier that 10 photos on a hotel import, that's going to be helpful, but I think we can do a little bit more. So it's not just hotel imports. For any event, you're going to be able to add and present up to 10 photos. So if I go in, if I want to add a new info event, you'll see that now it says click to add up to 10 photos. It doesn't matter if that comes from an import, from upload, copy paste, or another method. We're always listening and trying to make it easier for you to build the travel experience that you want to deliver to your clients.
Mic drop. I just had to jump in and say, the chat is popping off, Kyle. That's so exciting.
Is it?
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. I'll let you continue.
Sometimes it's those little things. And I really hope out of all of those, it's clear that like at Travefy, we want to help you showcase your value and deliver the most professional experience possible while saving you time. But as you all know by now, CRM has been a really large focus for us this year. And that's not because we want to be a CRM. While our primary focus is that helping you showcase your value to clients, we're looking to save you that time or effort. And one of those areas has really been working with your agency. Most agencies or consortia require you to do some level of reporting. A lot of this reporting is around your clients, marketing data, and the trips you're planning. All of these are things you're already doing in Travefy, yet because systems don't talk to each other, you're duplicating effort to input that information into multiple places to get everyone the information they request. Part of the reason for our focus on CRM was to save you that time. Now that we have the core functionality in Travefy, we are hard at work with our partners to send them the data they require with no extra effort from you. And we are exceptionally proud that one of those early partners is Virtuoso. Earlier this year, we were honored when Virtuoso approached us to be their exclusive launch partner for their new API. They respected Travefy's longevity, industry leadership, and most importantly, you advisors who are already using Travefy. So we've worked throughout the year in close collaboration with Virtuoso to understand the Virtuoso systems and your needs to bring you a seamless and efficient experience to report your information. So when Virtuoso launches their new API, Travefy will be the only partner on day one to save you the time in sending to Virtuoso your contacts and the marketing information required by Virtuoso to participate in their marketing, and your booking info and trip data. So this new partnership continues Travefy's long-standing investment in partnerships and integrations within the travel and tech ecosystems. Systems that don't talk to each other only cause you more work, which is why we support over 200 supplier integrations and maintain relationships and integrations with other tools you may use, like Trace, Clientbase, Vacation CRM, and Trip Suite. We're proud to kick off our CRM integration with Virtuoso, and it's just the start for us and for you. So let's zoom out for a second. Everything we're building for you as advisors is also the foundation for your agency leaders. And this isn't new. Travefy already powers 2,000 teams. With so many impactful releases over the past year, it's time for your agencies to take the next step as well. So next week, we are officially introducing Travefy for agencies. Everything we've built for you, CRM, itineraries, commissions, and our ever-deepening integrations are now the foundation for your agency leaders. We've led the way in the industry with tools like shared library templates and team collaboration. And next week, we'll show agency leaders how Travefy can eliminate double entry, unlock better workflows for themselves and you, and deliver better pricing across the team. So if you find yourself entering contact info, bookings, or other travel details into both Travefy and another system like a CRM or a Google spreadsheet, And if you're required to do so to participate in marketing or simply to get paid, pay close attention. This is your chance to help yourself. Get your agency moving faster, save time by cutting out duplicate work for yourself, and unlock more value. It all starts with you. So tell your team leader, tell your host, and help us get them to the webinar. Stephanie, what can people expect in that webinar, and how can we help them make it as easy as possible for those interested to talk to their team leader?
Yes. Oh, it's so cool. Like, we're not done yet. We're going to be doing this all again next week with some really exciting things for agencies. But I want to share a little bit of the webinar next week for really agencies and agency owners, leaders. We're going to be showing how Travefy helps the advisors shine with all the professional client tools like you saw today, including others, while also, giving the agency visibility and control and really just helping the agency as a whole work smarter. So during the webinar, we're going to walk through how the agency, can attract, retain great agents, track commissions, streamline the operations with one centralized system, which is Travefy. The other cool thing is we're going to give you some look at our agency pricing, and that's really designed to just deliver the best ROI. And as you're seeing, Kyle likes to drop some sneak peeks. So there's some cool things too that we'll be sharing. But I want to talk about how to join or share this with your agency or agency owner or leader. So a couple of things you can do. I think Scott already dropped some stuff in there already, but a few ways that we can help you get your agency leader or your team lead the right contact in on this webinar. One, we share the registration page. So go ahead, register for that webinar if this is really helpful, if that'll be a helpful webinar for you, or forward it along to the right person in your agency or team. The second thing that we have is we also have a form that you can fill out to refer your agency owner. So we can invite them for you. So trying to make it easy. So that way, if you just want to share the right contact info with us, we can invite them for you. So there should be a link as well. Scott just shared that as well. There's a link in there in the chat that you can use, fill out that information. We can do the work for you. And then also another really cool thing is we also created a download for Travefy's agency tools like toolkit. It's kind of like a slide deck that you can also share. So that way, if you're like, hey, I just want to share this. I already saw that in the chat, like some people saying like, I really want my host agency to get in on this. Share that with them. We try to make it easy for you. So we hope to see you there next week and maybe some new faces as well. And we're really pumped for the webinar and can't wait to show you what we've been working on. So it's going to be a really awesome time. But then finally, just to wrap this up, because this was like the world's fastest webinar ever, I feel like, is I want to say one last reminder. So for all current Travefy users, or in case if you joined us late, but at the beginning of this webinar, we shared how much we love and thank our Trailblazer community who helps us beta test our tools, create and roll out just the best features for all Travefy users. And we're really taking this opportunity today to offer to any user who's interested, fill out this form. Kyle, go ahead and pause it on here for just a second, because go ahead, scan that on your phone, or there's a link that we will drop in. I'm just going to drop it in right now. Actually, I dropped it in at the beginning, but I'm gonna send it one more time in there. Here, I'm just going to put it. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so we've got that in there. So we'd love to see you in there. But now, Kyle, we can switch to the last slide in there to round us out here. Is because we are running short on time, there's 6 minutes left. I want to wrap up here, but I just want to say, I got to say really quick, we are iterating faster than ever. As you can see, it's blowing my mind. CRM is already transforming workflows for advisors, and it's only getting better. And at the same time, itineraries, forms, and invoices, they just remain unmatched. And I hope you can see that just our heartbeat hasn't changed, and agency support is here, not someday. It's here. The webinar is happening. It's here. It is. Everyone's getting in. And this is really the moment to lean in for not only us, but for you as well and your agency and your teams. So it's really exciting things. But I am really happy. We have 5 minutes here because I really was hoping we could at least do 1 to 2 Q&A questions. So I'm going to see what's coming in here. But I did want to mention one thing that I want to highlight. We had this before, and it's just a reminder that we still have it. Now you can add more, is how Kyle mentioned mentioned that you can have 10 photos, but now you can also have videos. So don't forget about that. You can put like multiple videos in there. It's really cool. Um, but
Yeah,
okay, so
Stephanie, one
yeah.
I saw come through that is a good reminder of how fast we're moving. Well, we didn't talk about it today, but we do have credit card authorization and it's
Yes.
fully built in, fully PCI compliant. I think sometimes we start to take it for granted and focus on all the new stuff and forget some of those foundations. So while we didn't cover it in the webinar today, we absolutely have that. And it's a really big part of our forms and our invoices.
Yes. Oh, and actually that brings up something too. It is really hard to show everything in Travefy. Like it's impossible. We would be here all day for like 2 days, just straight. So one reminder too, if you go to our support center, I'll drop this in the chat here, is go to our support center and in there, you'll also find we have videos, FAQs on all of that. So like the credit card authorization is a good example. We have a quick video just on how that works. So I'll drop that in the chat. But before I do that, I do have a question for you, Kyle, can you just quickly recap when new itinerary views, the group tagging, all that stuff you were showing, when that would be available?
Yeah, we are aiming for October. So as I mentioned, part of that is with our Trailblazers now. So we're getting feedback on the preview and the sharing links, and the view stuff is really, really close to going out to Trailblazers. Our plan is to give that 4 to 6 weeks, both to get feedback and address that feedback, but also to start that education and make sure we can get out more tutorials and more information so that you have time to prepare for that coming. And again, like I mentioned in the demo, we will have that toggle at the top. So if it's not the right time for you to go learn how to use it, you can always toggle back to the exact same itinerary builder that you're using today.
Amazing stuff. And I have another question for you, Kyle, will email signatures be supported in the future?
Yes, it will.
Yes.
It is on the roadmap and it is coming soon. I can't give you a date and I can't promise that it's coming in September, but it's definitely something we want to get to soon. So we are listening and we hear you all on that one.
Amazing. Oh, it's so cool. Okay, I got one more. Scott's feeding me some questions here because he's in the chat. Is one more is will there be additional email automation in the future?
Um, yes, there will. I would say that's further down the line after signatures. And I think we want to get to some email templating first. But all of those things are kind of grouped together and we get a ton of feedback and a ton of really valuable feedback. So it's just kind of figuring out all of those pieces and making sure we're building in the right order that really delivers that value to you.
Amazing. Ah, it's so exciting. There's so much cool stuff. And I just want to say once again, there was a comment that came in from Annette. So thank you for this amazing comment. Just how all the innovation after innovation over the years that they've been with us, but it's almost hard to keep up with all the advancements, but it's a great challenge to have. Agreed. That's why, again, I recommend check out that support center and stay in tune with all the webinars. We always post all of our stuff on YouTube. Like I even saw another question about they want to build a website with Travefy. There's some amazing videos if you go to our YouTube channel. And also after this, just give it about maybe an hour, hour and a half, couple hours, and we'll get the recording up on our YouTube channel for this webinar as well. So you can come back and check it out. But really cool. And I'm going to do one final question here. I'll take it. Is somebody asked, can I get a demo of Travefy if I'm not a user? Yes. So if you are not a Travefy user currently, if you go to travefy.com, you can start a free trial. Jump right in. You get to use all the cool stuff. You get to connect your email, do all the things. It's really great. But then during that time, one of our sales team members will reach out and we actually do have a link to, if you email us at professional@travefy.com, you could schedule a demo. So if you want to hop in a demo before the trial, that's okay. We can do that too. But we do have our sales team ready to go all the time, and they will do quick demos one-on-one with you and really hear your business, what you're looking for, and then we'll match it, show you how you can use Travefy for that. So go check all that out. But other than that, Kyle, we did it. 60 minutes of amazingness. This is so
Yes,
cool.
59 minutes.
59.
So.
Yeah. Amazing stuff ahead and much more coming, everybody. So, thank you so much again for joining us. I know it's a lot. Everyone's so busy, and we really appreciate you taking time out of your really busy day to hang with us, hear this. We're excited, and thank you, Kyle. And thanks to the Travefy team in the back helping answer those questions and keep up with all the cool, fun stuff. So, thank you, everyone, and thanks, Kyle.
Yep. We'll see you all.
See ya.